So, does he think that the Jews are indigenous to Palestine, like they're from here? The Israeli Jews, I mean.
الإسرائيليين اليهود هم عن أصلهم من هاي الأرض يعني موجودين الأصل من هاي الأرض.
احنا هنا يعني في النحاك واحنا ما بنقول مثلا ان بدنا نرحل اليهود او كذا، المفروض ان احنا نكبر في حق بحريه وفي كيان ان يعني وجود هنا وان دوله وان امان. انا ما بعرف ان مثلا لهم حق او ما في لهم حق في التاريخ.
He says he doesn't really know historically if they are really from here or not, but he thinks that he is against the idea of let's say letting the Jews outside of this country, but he hopes that we can live together.
What do you mean letting the Jews outside?
يعني kick them out.
Okay.
إضافة للمعلومة بنطالب من الاحتلال يعني إنه يرفع ايديه عن الاحتلال لأراضينا وعن قتل أطفالنا وتبقى حياتنا مرتبة 100%.
Yeah, he's asking that to remove the occupation because this is his most important issue in his life.
But he's not against. He doesn't believe that the Jews should be kicked out, or
no. He's not against, and he doesn't believe in this. No.
Do you see the Jews of Israel, all the Jews of Israel, as being from here, as being part of this land? No? Okay. So how do you expect to make peace with people you don't consider from here?
Okay. That's because, now it is a reality. Mm-hmm. The Israeli is here, is a reality. We cannot change it. Mm-hmm. But as we are living here, we don't have a powerful, so we don't have any choice. Mm-hmm. We don't have a military or a country that can make a fighting or get our lands back. Then we don't have any choice. We must live with each other now. But in the future, you don't know, and I don't know what's going on.
Okay. Related question. Okay, go ahead.
Okay. As a Jewish who live in Israel, it's okay for us because Israel it is reality now. But as a settlers who live in West Bank, I think they must move out and go back to Israel because the peaceful agreement that is the Palestinian Authority or Palestinian must live in 1967. And we are living in 10% from 1967. Mm-hmm. Mostly you have more than 90%. 90% is under control by Israeli government.
Mm-hmm. Are from here.
السؤال نفس اللي سألناه لأبو حماد، أنت تعتقد أن اليهود كان لهم أصلا موجودين إسرائيليين؟
لا ولا مرة. هذه أرضنا وما نتخلاش عنها. حق العودة. لا عن جد شو بقاش إسرائيليين هاي. مش في 48 رحلوا.
Okay, let him speak.
في الحرب مش ما رحلوا الناس. ما نلاقوا الأخرى.
Okay, Nick.
He's saying that they have never been here and they don't have the right to be here. They don't have the right to be here. And he thinks also that they have transferred us from our land and we have the right to be here, not the Israelis.
Okay. Does he want to make peace with the Israelis?
طب أنت حاب تعمل سلام مع الإسرائيليين؟
لا ما نسويش سلام.
He says
إذا
no.
بده يصير
There can't be peace.
إذا بده يصير سلام بيطلعوا من أرضنا بيرجعوا على بلادهم. بعدين بيصير سلام.
He's saying the only way for peace is to get out of this country and then we will talk about peace. That's what he's saying.
Which is this country? Wait, what is this country? The West Bank or Israel?
Because he means all the land, all the land.
So all of Israel.
Palestine. Yes, and he's saying also that they are arresting
بعد ما
our
يعطونا حقنا بنسوي سلام.
And he's saying that if they're giving us our right back, he will think about peace.
الأقصى حرمونا منها. الشباب أحلى شباب من البلد محابسين. شو ذنبهم هذول؟
He's saying that we are even prevented from seeing Al-Aqsa. And he's saying that these guys at this village are being put in a prison right now. So this is very bad for him.
Do you consider the Jews of Israel to be indigenous
Indigenous, what does that mean?
from this land?
Of course. For sure. I might be a Jew. I don't know.
But in terms of Jewish Israelis who consider themselves Jewish, do you
this
consider
is another
someone
story,
who
man.
came from Russia?
I mean,
Do you consider themselves indigenous
From where?
From Russia, or their grandparents
No,
came
not
from
after the
Poland?
occupation. I mean, people were exist. Jews was exist here. They were here. They were everywhere in this world. I consider them. My conflict is not with Jews. My conflict is with the Israeli occupation.
Okay,
And this
but
is a big
the
difference.
question is, if somebody, let's say, pretend I'm a Polish, my grandparents came from Poland, and I grew up in Israel, what am I indigenous? Am I from this land? That was the question.
Okay, let me start with this.
And then the question is how, because the original question is that if they're not indigenous, how can you make peace with someone who's not indigenous?
Listen, first I disagree with countries. I'm against countries.
Yeah.
I am with cultures. There is cultures, I believe in that. I believe you have the right to be here, I have the right to be in Australia. Without no one stopping me, asking me for my passport, if I'm bad or good, this is a story, another story. But I consider there was a Jews here before 6,000. I want to just add 3,000 for the Israelis. 3,000, so it became 6,000. And what happened after the occupation in 1948 doesn't give the right for anyone to say, I am from here, I was born here, and I want to be here. There is a story of fair justice or not. This is my question for you. Do you accept that if it happens in Australia or not? If you ask me, I said no. They came from Poland. They're originally from Poland or from Russia, from this land or that land. It's not my fault. It's not my fault that he was born here. Of course, he was born here. I will never ignore that fact. But this is not my problem. This is his problem, dealing with that conflict and coming to this land to consider himself an enemy for me, and I'm an enemy for him. But it's the story of being a thief or not. It's the story of being fair or not. If the story is really dealing with human rights or not.
Okay, sorry, repeat that. So the cutoff for you is 1948. So if
Yes.
somebody came from Russia in 1912
Yes.
or 1897, it doesn't matter.
doesn't
It's
matter.
1948.
Yes.
But if somebody came from Syria in 1949, they're not indigenous?
Come on, I'm saying that for everyone. If you consider that,
No, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm asking.
it's for everyone. I'm like this for the Syrian people as well. No, but the story is about it's considered to be about conflict between the Israelis and the Palestinians. So to be specific, I'm talking about this problem, and then we can deal with that. We can be how do you say racist like the rest of the world, considering being African is being better than being Arab. Being Arab is better than being Asian.
So what is dealing with it mean in terms of that question of who came before 1948 and who came after 1948? What do you mean by dealing with it?
Dealing with it, it means that someone simply taking me from my originally village,
Which is where?
it was called Iraq al-Manshiyya, and now it's Kiryat Gat,
Okay.
and put me more than 30 years of my life in a refugee camp. That means 14,000 people living in 1 square kilometer. I think no one in this world can accept that. No one can accept this fact of houses above each other. People just have no privacy, no life, no basics of life. So this is a big deal for me. Someone is taking my place, my breath, my air, and wants me to deal with him in a very nice way and accept the 5% of the land and say, we are in charge. You can't say anything. Either you accept it or not.
Does he think the Jews, the Israeli Jews are indigenous, are part of this land?
في رأيك أنت إن الإسرائيليين كانوا الأصل موجودين في هاي البلاد، أصلهم موجود هان مثلا؟
التاريخ بيحكي انه بقى في يهود موجودين يعني
إن في لهم أصل تاريخي موجود هنا اليهود الإسرائيليين. أنت حسب رأيك زي ما بتفهم في التاريخ يعني شو اسمه؟ He think that they originally, historically, the Jews were here historically. Many of them were here side to side with the Palestinians.
Does he think that the Israelis are the same Jews?
أنت بتعتقد أن اليهود الموجودين اليوم هنا الإسرائيلي هم نفس اليهود اللي كانوا موجودين مع الفلسطينيين عايشين في الثلاثينات والعشرينات؟ اليهود الإسرائيليين الموجودين اليوم اللي احنا بنشوفهم
الموجودين اليوم اجوا هذول من الدول العربية، منين اجوا من برا.
So he's thinking they are not the same because he's thinking the Israeli that are now here came from different countries, from the Arab countries and from different countries around the world. So they are not the same.